Every time I looked at the fancy light hanging from the ceiling, I felt small. The way the little glass pieces shook and shone made it seem like there was a world I just didn't fit into. I felt that same way that night, staring at the Thanksgiving dinner spread out in Sarah's family's huge house in the countryside. Everything was perfect: shiny silver, clear glass cups, neatly folded cloths. And then there was me, feeling like a dirty mark on a beautiful picture. Sarah floated around the room, so graceful and impressive, like no one could touch her. She'd tap someone's arm, swirl her wine with a smile. Everyone talked about how she glowed, even after 7 years of us being together. I was used to her shine, but I never shone beside her. She was born a Sterling. I was just an architect, and they never let me forget it. Danny, dear, Beatrice Sterling, Sarah's aunt, appeared next to me. A fake smile stretched across my face as she looked down at me, her pearl necklace gleaming. She used politeness like a weapon. Could you help Mark? We seem to be short a couple of chairs. Of course, I said. In this house, being polite was how you survived. As Mark walked towards the basement, he spoke without looking back. Even carrying chairs is your kind of job, huh? I smiled. I'd gotten good at hiding years of frustration behind that smile. Yeah, it really does feel like work down there, I agreed. Grabbing the metal chairs, he asked, how's work? Still drawing those boxy buildings? We call it building consulting, I replied. And it's going well. The West Haven project got approved. My brother says that project's going to fail. The economy's going downhill, you know. But I guess you wouldn't understand things like that. Just as I was about to answer, my phone buzzed. A message from Leo. Approval came through. Henderson Group is out. We're celebrating tomorrow. I smiled. Beating Preston Henderson, the guy Sarah's family had always wanted her to marry, felt good. But the feeling didn't last long. When I got back to the dining room, a strange quiet had fallen. Everyone was looking at me. Sarah stood at the end of the table, wine glass in hand. Dating apps have a 99% success rate, she said, turning to me. Guess I landed in that remaining 1%. Just kidding, of course. Just a little meet cute gone wrong. A marriage mistake, really. One of the chairs in my hand wobbled, but I didn't drop it. Laughter echoed through the room. All eyes were on me. It felt like I wasn't even there, like I was a piece of furniture no one needed. Oh, honey, Beatrice chimed in, don't be sad. Preston was asking about you at the club the other day. Still interested, clearly. Without taking my eyes off Sarah, I turned and walked upstairs. I silently opened my suitcase, folded my shirts, packed my toothbrush, slipped off my wedding ring, and placed it on the dresser. Everything was quiet, and that silence felt like peace. Oh, Danny, what a sensitive man he's become. Sarah's voice rose behind me. He'll come back. No, I wouldn't. I didn't look back as I left that house. I didn't care about Sarah's voice, Beatrice's face, or Mark's mocking eyes. That night, the air was cold, but inside I was burning. When I got in the car, the ring was no longer on my hand, but one question screamed in my head. Had I really been this blind for 7 years? When I arrived in Boston, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Sarah, Leo, some clients, all trying to figure out why I left. But none of them understood, and I didn't want to explain. If I told the truth, they'd destroy me. Money wasn't the only thing they had. They had power, connections, dirty tricks. The next morning, I sat down with Mike, my lawyer and my closest friend. He started planning a new life for me. This won't just be a divorce, I said. This will be a clean wipe. I'll erase every trace of myself. Mike looked at me for a long time. This means there's no going back. New name, new city, new past. Even your building license will be useless. If I have to, I'll draw again from scratch, I said, but far away from their name, their power, their cursed family history. 2 weeks later, I was no longer Danny Walker. I was born again as David Miller in a small town in Oregon. I rented a tiny apartment above a bookstore. I started at a building firm like a beginner, never mentioning my past work. Everything started from zero. The only things I had were my brain and my pencil. But the nights, those nights never ended. Every night, that moment replayed in my head. Sarah laughing as she called me a marriage mistake. That laughter still felt like a knife twisting inside me. Months passed. Finally, people started noticing me. My designs were getting attention. One day, my boss, Robert, walked into my office and said, "You're more than just a builder, but I don't know what you're running from. Just know this, whatever happened made you who you are." My chest tightened. If only he knew. If only I had told him then. One night, everything changed. A notification popped up on my computer, new information about the missing architect. My hands trembled as I clicked it. When the page loaded, there was my face, an old photo. Below it, a quote from Preston Henderson. Danny had mental problems. We always supported him, but some people just can't handle failure. Something snapped inside me. They were still playing their games, spreading lies about me, painting me as crazy, weak, and lost. But I wasn't lost. I had been reborn, and this time, I wasn't going back. This time, I would be the one hunting. For 7 years, I had just breathed. I hadn't lived. I trusted no one, let no one close. I built walls where my heart used to be because behind every wall, Sarah's laughter echoed. But that morning, my phone rang. The number was strange. The voice was young, female, cold but clear. Mr. Miller, or should I say Danny Walker? We found you. I froze. Who are you? Nina Reeves, private investigator. I was hired by the Sterling family, but finding you wasn't the only thing I discovered. They're going to regret hiring me. We need to meet urgently. The next morning, when the door to my Portland office opened, my past walked in. Sarah stood before me, her face pale, dark circles under her eyes. The elegance was gone. Exhaustion had taken its place. But she was still beautiful and still dangerous. Danny, she said, her voice shaky. You have to listen to me. My name is David. No, you're still Danny, and what I'm about to tell you will change everything about who you are. She pulled a file from her bag and then dropped the bomb. You have a son. Time stopped. Everything in the room felt like it was collapsing under the weight of that sentence. What are you saying? His name is Alex. He's 6 years old. That Thanksgiving night when you left, I was pregnant. I looked away. This had to be the dirtiest trick the Sterlings could play on me. But Sarah kept talking. He's sick now. A rare type of blood cancer. The doctors, they say only you might be a match. He needs a bone marrow transplant. My heart felt like it was trying to claw its way out of my chest. A son. I had a son, and I'd never even known him. But my mind was screaming something else. You found me because you needed something. You wouldn't have called otherwise, I said. Sarah was crying now, but I wasn't foolish enough to believe those tears anymore. You didn't just steal me. You stole him from me. No, I tried to find you, but my father, he blocked everything. He threatened to destroy you. I was forced to marry Preston. They silenced me. The moment I heard his name, the hatred rose again. Preston, the loyal dog of the Sterling family, the man who had rescued Sarah. But now my son was sick, and they were asking me for help. I knew the price of that help because in their world, every favor came with a chain. If this is true, I said, then you'll prove he's really mine, and this will happen on my terms. The next day, we did a DNA test. The result, 99% match. Alex was mine, my blood, my dream, and he was fighting for his life. I agreed to the bone marrow transplant without hesitation. The operation was a success. Alex's body started accepting the new cells. But while I lay in the hospital bed, something didn't feel right. Nina, the private investigator, had brought me secret papers, and in those papers was a horrifying truth. The Sterling family had used Alex's illness to make money, calling it a medical experiment in the news to get investors because his genes were special. And worst of all, Preston had stolen my old building designs, gotten patents for them, and made millions. It was all planned, Vanessa included. During Alex's recovery, we grew close. I taught him how to draw buildings. His imagination was amazing. But one day, he whispered something to me. Mommy is scared of Grandpa. My blood ran cold. She brought you here, but they don't want to let you go. That night, before leaving the hospital, I spoke with Sarah one last time. I thought you had changed, I said, but you're just another Sterling. No, not this time. I love you, Danny. I still do. I laughed, a bitter sound. I'd heard that love 7 years ago, and now it was finally my turn to laugh. This love destroyed my life, I said. Now I'm going to destroy yours. 3 weeks later, the Sterling empire collapsed. The news exposed their lies about Alex's illness. Preston was arrested for stealing designs. Beatrice was being investigated for stealing charity money. And Sarah? She lost everything. No one loved her anymore, except me, because my son still loved her, and I swore to protect him, even if he was stolen from me. By court order, I was granted full custody of Alex. I didn't abandon Sarah completely. Leaving her totally alone would have made me like them. But I had one condition. She would never again say the word love to me. Today, Alex and I live in a rooftop apartment. We have a small office and big dreams. We design buildings, but what we're really building is a bond. That night, before going to bed, he asked me, "Dad, why didn't Grandpa love us?" I looked at him for a long time. "Because some people only love themselves, son." He smiled. "But you're not like that." "No," I said. "I became myself again because of you." And then I thought one thing. They burned my life to the ground, but I turned their name into ashes.